Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. Wolves fans, I wanted to just give a bit of a transfer update on everything that's going on with Wolves as we enter deadline day tomorrow. A potential couple of signings have been mentioned, and once again, we've been linked with Aaron Ramsey and Renato Sanchez. I'm going to give you a bit of information on what's been going on with both of those, where the sources are, and give my personal opinion on if I think any of these transfers will actually happen before the close of play tomorrow. Of course, that's committing to something that could be terribly wrong by tomorrow, but there we go. Guys, before I jump into it, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel as well if you're new here. Now, of course, Wolves fans, I'm sure we will be very welcoming of a centre midfielder, whether that be in the way of Aaron Ramsey or Renato Sanchez. And at the moment, we're being linked with both. So sources from Italy are confirming that we are in talks with Aaron Ramsey. And likewise, once again, we are being linked with a loan move with Renato Sanchez. So moving on to, obviously, of course, Aaron Ramsey. Of course, this has been a bit of a busy window for him in terms of who he's been linked with, but he's yet to move from Juventus, and it's actually appearing that Wolves have now been linked with a late move for Ramsey and are in talks with both Juve and Aaron Ramsey's representatives. That's what's coming out of Italy. Now, of course, this is an interesting one because this would most likely have to be a purchase offer. This wouldn't be a loan signing. This would be a permanent. And the reason for that is when we look at the other teams that are in for him, as well as Wolves, as we know, Burnley have made a bid, which Aaron Ramsey did turn down earlier on in the window. But that offer's still on the table and maybe even slightly improved in terms of personal terms. And Crystal Palace are also negotiating with both Juve and his representatives. Now, of course, he did turn down Burnley earlier on in the window, but that's not to say that he wouldn't now be a bit more interested because, you know, maybe if the other two clubs can't agree a deal with him or Juventus, he would maybe take Burnley. Crystal Palace as well, of course, they've lost out on Van der Beek earlier on today. They're going to be desperate to get in an attacking midfielder, and Aaron Ramsey would certainly suit that profile. So this one's going to be a bit of a battle if our interest is, what Italian sources are reporting. And it would have to be on a permanent, which, obviously we've loaned out Adama. We've had trouble with FFP as well. Is there going to be the money to bring Aaron Ramsey to Molineux? And as well, he's on 400k a week at the moment, I believe, at Juventus. How much is he prepared to sacrifice those wages? Because as we found out with Adama Traore, we will not go over our wage budget. So let's move on to Renato Sanchez, someone that was linked with Liverpool, was linked with Arsenal earlier on in the summer, actually. No, he hasn't really been linked anywhere else but Wolves in this January transfer window. And the reports on the table are that Wolves are trying to negotiate a loan with an option to buy. Now, of course, we've done the exact same with loaning out Adama Traore. And reports are saying different things as whether that's going to be a permanent signing, but Barcelona are kind of just saying it's a loan with an option to buy because they're physically not allowed to register any new players unless they are a loan signing. Now, obviously, the benefits of a loan with an option to buy is, of course, not the fact of we get to try out Renato Sanchez because I'm about 199.9% sure he will be good enough for us. But it does mean that money will then be delayed until the summer where we'd hopefully then receive the Adama money. And it would be pretty much a swap for swap in terms of not the player style, but I just mean 30 million going out, 30 million coming in. So that would obviously be a great trade. And we are long-term going to have to replace João Moutinho, who's, of course, out of contract at the end of the summer, but still hopeful that we can agree something there. Now, of course, one of the things that has made me think this is possible is the fact that Jordao is heading on his way out of the club and he's going on loan to Grasshoppers, it is said to believe I don't know what they even are. Are they a feeder club? I don't know. We seem to feed them players, don't we? We've obviously got a good relationship with them. I believe our owner's wife has some stake in that club as well, which is why, it's kind of worked for both parties, isn't it? I think she has some ownership in it. But Jordao does look to be going off to Grasshoppers, which would leave us very, very, very bare in a midfield position where we only really have, at the moment, three options in Dendoncker, Neves and Moutinho. And, of course, we've not really had any incomings, have we, apart from Chiquinho, who's going to be one for the future. We've also brought a couple of other players for the future and loaned them out to Grasshoppers. But does this feel like the summer to me? That is my one worry, because we had this on transfer deadline day in the summer where Jeff Shee, were being linked to players left, right, and centre. We didn't see anyone brought in, and it did feel like a pretty poor summer in terms of signings. Yes, we didn't lose anyone major, but in this window, we've already lost someone major, in my opinion, in Adama Traore. And fair play to him, he's got his dream move to Barcelona, but if we don't sign someone, this is going to be a terrible window. We're on the cusp of European football, and we really do need to sign someone. Which am I more hopeful for? I'd probably say Renato Sanchez, I think. Maybe, he hasn't been linked to a club like Arsenal or Liverpool this window. Liverpool have just made a big signing. We're on the cusp of European football. I do feel that loan with an option to buy is much more likely than us actually going into the market and spending money. But maybe that's just me personally just being a bit fed up of us not spending any. But I do understand we have financial fair play, regulations. Do I think either will come in? I'm not so sure. I don't know if this is just the same trick from the summer, to be honest. But guys, let me know your thoughts. And whilst you're there, also hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new here as well. And hopefully I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.